Today I have a Honda Civic with a 1.7 liter engine and we have transmission problems on this vehicle now. We have the code P0700 and the code P0741. Torque converter clutch solenoid is stuck off. I'm going to be inspecting the shift solenoid and also the wires to see if the problem is in the wires or either the shift solenoid or either in the transmission. And for the test to be efficient, I'm going to be using the Honda software. So let's go ahead and do it. Read codes, and we have here P0700. This code is related with the transmission. Something is wrong with the transmission, but this code really does not tell us too much since this is like a generic code. So I'm gonna scan the transmission to see if I find more codes there, and I can see here P0741 torque converter clutch stuck off. Something wrong with this solenoid, or either could be problems in the wires, or it could be the transmission. I don't know at this point. I'm gonna be testing this shift solenoid. Alright, this shift solenoid is under these two hoses here, under the thermostat. I have a small ratchet here, 1/4 ratchet, to take out the 10mm bolt. The best thing to do here in this case is taking out this battery here. And I took out the shift solenoid here, as you can see, but I have not disconnected yet. That's the hole right there where it belongs to. This one here is the 10mm bolt. This solenoid looks a little old, but let's see how it comes out. Having a better look here, I'm gonna be inspecting it and testing it. Alright, I have decided I'm gonna be testing the wires on the connector first to see if there is something wrong, if there is a short or something, or there is nothing. And I'm helping a friend of mine here, so I'm not carrying my tools. I'm doing this with whatever I found here, a paper clip and a small pin. And I'm supposed to be testing these wires by the rear of the connector, but however I'm doing it by the front. And I have 12 volts here and the electrical connector. I decided to test this first. A friend of mine is opening and closing the ignition switch at this moment. And you will see the 12 volts only for 1 second, maybe less than 1 second, and then it goes away. That's the 12 volts right there again. When my friend opens the ignition switch, I can see the 12 volts here really quick. But the 12 volts go away as soon as they come. And that is because the solenoids only get power when the PCM commands them to actuate. In other words, the PCM decides when to turn them off and when to turn them on. After checking the electrical connectors, I'm gonna check the resistance on the shift solenoid, and if I get between 12 and 25 ohms, this shift solenoid is gonna pass this test. And I have 16 ohms here in this case, so that this tells me that this shift solenoid is passing this test. This is the first test, but there is a second test to do. I'm gonna do it one more time, and definitely I'm getting the 16 ohms. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to the next step. First of all, the order of the pins here, this one on the right hand side is pin number 2, which is positive, and this one here on the left hand side is pin number 1, which is negative. Alright, I'm going for the next test right now for the shift solenoid, my power probe here, connecting it to the battery, positive and negative. If you're doing this, make sure you're making good connections here on the battery terminals with the alligators of the power probe. And this is my power probe here, 12 volts. And it has a ground here too, a wire that is ground already integrated. I'm gonna apply 12 volts to this shift solenoid, and if it clicks or if it makes an approaching sound, then this solenoid is fine, it has no problems. Applying ground here on pin number 1. I'm gonna apply 12 volts here right now to pin number 2 and see if I hear an approaching sound or clicking sound. Alright, this solenoid is in excellent condition. It's clicking, it's making an operation sound. So this solenoid is not a problem either. The problem is going to be the transmission in this case. I'm pretty sure you guys can hear the strong sound here, an operation sound. Alright, here with the Honda software, here is the shift solenoid valve, as you can see it, torque converter clutch solenoid valve. And here you have all the components in case if you need to know something about these components here. And we can see the shift solenoid here again. Pin 1 is negative and pin 2 is positive, as you already saw it. And when you check on the resistance, if you get between 12 and 25 ohms, then the shift solenoid passes the test. And we move to the second test, which is applying 12 volts to both of the pins on the solenoid. If the solenoid makes an operation sound or either clicking sound, then the solenoid passes the test too and the solenoid should not be replaced. And because I also checked the wires and everything is fine with the wires, so the problem here should be in the transmission, unfortunately. Here we can see the solenoid valve again. Here is the torque specification for the 10mm bolt. And please don't get confused when Honda says shift solenoid A and B. B only means the O-rings here. Alright, as you already saw it, the problem is the transmission. It's not the shift solenoids, it's not the wires. And the only way to fix this problem is rebuilding the transmission or replacing it with a good one. And if you think this video was helpful for you in any way, please consider to like, comment and subscribe. Thanks for watching and stay blessed.